Here's your wrestling news for January 11th, 2022. And your headlines for today include: Raw's fantastic opening segment builds towards epic WWE title collision. Alexa Bliss makes return to Raw in impressive fashion. Ring of Honor announces first show after their extended hiatus. Mickie James' WWE return will be more than a one-off appearance. WWE's Forbidden Door still open. What's planned for the Men's Royal Rumble match? AEW wrestler teases heat with Tony Khan after months of being unused. Roman Reigns breaks character at WWE Untelevised live event, and more. We're kicking off today with Raw, which saw the build begin for the long-awaited match between Brock Lesnar and Bobby Lashley. Although both men are managed by some fantastic talkers, Paul Heyman and MVP respectively, it was Brock and Lashley doing the talking this week in a fantastic opening segment. This all came after Lesnar refused to even acknowledge Lashley last week, as after he'd become the #1 contender, the WWE champion set his sights on Roman Reigns, saying he'd see him on SmackDown. This disrespect continued last night, where Lashley was labeled as a Brock Lesnar wannabe, among other things, and in a knock-knock joke, the Beast incarnate pretended to not even know who the Almighty is. That's not to say Lashley didn't get some verbal barbs in of his own, as he claimed that Lesnar has been ducking and running from this match for 20 years. Lashley also declared that the Hurt Business was finished, and despite being attacked from behind by Shelton Benjamin and Cedric Alexander, dispatched of his former teammates, bringing an end to their underwhelming reunion. As for the Royal Rumble, it's difficult to call this match, as we can't say for certain if WWE wants to get the WWE Championship off Brock immediately so he can once more focus on Roman Reigns, or if Reigns will lose his Universal title and challenge Brock for the WWE Championship this April. Then there's the reports that WWE are planning a Lashley face turn, which seems to be on pause right now considering he's going up against the babyface Beast incarnate. Whatever WWE has planned next, fans are in for a hard-hitting, long-overdue match at the Royal Rumble, and we can't help but commend Lashley and Lesnar, who are often said to need a manager to do promos for them, for holding their own on the mic this week. Raw also marked the return of Alexa Bliss in her first on-screen appearance since Extreme Rules 2021. Appearing in therapy, Bliss made it clear that the spooky character she adopted during her time with Bray Wyatt is here to stay, and was her usual creepy self to the therapist. When she was shown footage of her doll Lily being decimated, Bliss snapped, destroying the office and making it clear that she's committed to this character. While those who wanted the goddess or any pre-Fiend iteration of Bliss may be sorely disappointed, this was a great way to bring Bliss back. One of the biggest criticisms of WWE is that angles are dropped without any rhyme or reason, and had she just returned as the normal Bliss, then this would have been another example of a story being left behind. It was also smart for WWE to address the destruction of Lily, as according to storylines, this is what has kept Bliss from appearing for months. Well, in reality, she's been recovering from sinus surgery. Bliss's return could not come at a better time, as despite welcoming back a ton of names, WWE is still a dozen or so women short for their 30-woman Royal Rumble, a match that Bliss will not only fill a spot in, but could be considered a favorite. This summer will mark 4 years since Bliss last held singles gold in WWE, and while she's only had one appearance back, her return was a definite highlight of Raw this week. In December 2021, Ring of Honor closed their doors following the Final Battle pay-per-view after a difficult period of time for the company. Despite releasing a ton of talent and even more contracts being cut short before their March 2022 renewal dates, ROH executives have always insisted that this isn't the end, but is just a temporary measure. Now Ring of Honor have announced their next show, Supercard of Honor, which will take place at the Curtis Culwell Center in Dallas-Fort Worth on April 1st. Tickets for the show will be going on sale next Friday, and no matches have been announced so far. ROH Final Battle was a huge night for the company and saw the debut of Adam Scherr, but Ring of Honor are hoping that the return will be the biggest show to date after a 4-month absence from any programming. At the Royal Rumble, Mickie James will compete in the Women's Royal Rumble match, despite being the reigning Impact Knockouts World Champion. The fact that WWE is open to working with Impact is a huge deal, as Vince McMahon's company has spent decades working on their own, and if James gets her way, this won't be a one-off appearance. On Twitter, James responded to a tweet by Charlotte Flair, the reigning SmackDown Women's Champion, and made it clear she has her sights set on the Queen. Interestingly, Flair will also be in the Women's Rumble match and has said that if she wins, she'll hand-select her opponent at WrestleMania 38. At this time, it's hard to say who are the favorites to win the Women's Royal Rumble match, but if WWE wants to keep their Forbidden Door open, we may see a champion versus champion match between James and Flair at WrestleMania this April. James will no doubt be one to watch when she enters the Women's Rumble later this month, but she may not be the only shocking name who appears. So far, only a handful of superstars have been announced for the Men's Royal Rumble, which will also feature Jackass star Johnny Knoxville. Fans should get ready for some surprises, as according to WrestleVotes, WWE are trying to secure an unexpected Forbidden Door entrant for the Men's Rumble match. This was confirmed by multiple sources within WWE, and it's yet another huge step for the promotion, which has refused to work with others for decades. There's no word on who this mystery man may be, but there's plenty of ex-superstars who could appear, and it's notable that Jon Moxley was trending on Twitter recently as fans discussed his potential return. Moxley has been absent from the ring for months after voluntarily entering inpatient rehab in late 2021, but with his return match confirmed for GCW's January 23rd show in the Hammerstein Ballroom, we'll just have to see if Moxley or any other ex-WWE superstars show up at the Royal Rumble. AEW news now, as the company has a stacked roster, and that means some names just don't get many opportunities to shine. It's no secret that Brian Cage's absence from TV has been a sore spot for him and his wife, who publicly criticized AEW for not using her husband more, and now Cage has commented on not being used. On Instagram, Cage left a cryptic statement saying that he's looking for the answer, and used the captions that made it clear he's not happy about going unused, with phrases like, "Need the machine" and "Where you been?" Cage's last match on AEW programming was on the October 8th Rampage, losing to FTW champion Ricky Starks in a street fight that ended Cage's storyline with Team Taz. 3 months later, there's still no sign of Cage being used on TV, and we doubt making his feelings about his booking clear on social media will help the AEW star. And we're ending today with Roman Reigns, who has been the unquestionable top heel of WWE for over a year now, vanquishing all opponents he's faced. After years of being pushed as a babyface, Reigns' heel work has been fantastic to see, but the Universal Champion hasn't forgotten how to be good to a crowd. At a recent WWE Super Show in Glens Falls, Reigns and the Bloodline defeated Big E and the Viking Raiders in the main event, and the Tribal Chief's post-match promo was nothing short of a babyface segment. Thanking the fans for coming to the show, Reigns encouraged the audience to stay safe and protect themselves so that shows can stay open. Reigns may be WWE's top heel, but he knows how important it is for everyone to keep safe during these strange times, and this important message was worth breaking character for the reigning Universal Champion. Well guys, that's our news for today. Please share your comments below. Also hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell icon to receive all notifications. And as always, thanks for watching.